Greetings! I am Herbert Erpaderp, and this is Ask a Herbert Erpaderp, where you, well maybe not you specifically, the royal you, ask me, Herbert Erpaderp, questions. And I answer. Probably. I could end up just rambling about something unrelated. For your viewing pleasure, here is some video of my little tank of red cherry shrimp, and an otocinclus named Carius. I'm definitely getting more and more into the aquarium hobby. I'm actually setting up a fourth tank right now. Well, not right now, but it's starting to cycle. Anyway, question time. There were no patron voice questions this fortnight, so let's go straight to the written ones. First, Salika said, "Are you still in need of an ultrasonic cleaner for your airbrush cleaning video?" I suppose I do. I haven't managed to get one yet because I haven't really been looking. It hasn't really been a priority. I've had other things I needed to spend money on, like keeping my car registered, which is always fun. No, wait, the other one. Not fun. Anyway, maybe I should look into that in the near future. If you've got a link to a decent cleaner at a reasonable price, I would surely appreciate that. John Hell said, "Do you own a Luftwaffle maker?" I don't own a Luftwaffle maker, nor a waffle maker. I don't think I would use either really, but if I'm honest, I would prefer to own the Luftwaffle maker. Then I could make my own Luftwaffles and be powerful, I guess? Sergeant Dornan said, "When is your birthday, Sir Herbert?" It's the 29th of June, so it'll be a while yet before I become even more old. Joseph Stalin said, "Ever built an RC model before?" I guess I technically have, because the Tamiya KV2 that I built about 100 years ago had the internal compartments to make it an RC model, but I didn't get the RC parts, so I guess really the answer is no. Maybe one day an RC kit might be fun to build, probably not especially cheap though. I guess it could possibly be cheaper than pre-built RC stuff, but it's not really within my budget at the moment. Smoes said, "Have you heard of a website called Millicast Models? I discovered it a while back and then forgot about it until the other day. It's definitely worth a look for upgrade sets for 1/72nd scale and for oddities." I don't recall the site at all, though it's conceivable that I've stumbled across it before and forgotten. They do look to have some pretty good stuff, and I'm actually giving serious consideration to buying the Australian Centurion. That looks pretty cool and I am quite fond of those tanks. I think maybe I will order one model. Only one though, so I can see what their quality is like before getting all excited and ordering a whole ton of stuff, and then having it end up being really bad. You probably know that I'm not a huge fan of resin, but I am willing to try out a new company, especially if they're offering something nicely made, so I might as well give it a go. I appreciate you bringing this site to my attention. Sunny Deezy said, "What do you think about custom rules for bolt action if I'm playing with maybe one other friend who doesn't normally play?" Ah, house rules. I'm generally for them if everybody playing is okay with them and they're made clear. If it improves your enjoyment of the game, why not, right? The key is clarity though. Maybe write down the changes or extra rules that you made up so that they're remembered and others can see them too. That kind of thing is something someone as forgetful as myself would need to do. Of course, it probably isn't going to work if you're doing a tournament or whatever, but between friends it's totally fine. I'm pretty sure that I house ruled a bunch of things in the solo games I made videos about, like having the ability to field multiple tanks in the same force. Who was going to stop me? Nobody. Ahmed Jerboa said, "Would you ever let us buy models for you that we want to see you build?" I have previously considered setting up a PO box, but I'm not really convinced it's worth the cost. Also, there's a few other things. Firstly, I would much prefer you guys to spend your money on, or dig out of your stashes, kits that you would want to build, and then build and enjoy them yourselves. And of course, share the progress on Discord and such. Another thing is I can see people sending me kits and then getting all bent out of shape at me for not building it right away, or maybe not at all, or maybe just not in the way the person wants, if that makes sense. I mean, I wouldn't expect tons of models to be sent or anything like that, though I think there would need to be a fair few things being sent regularly to justify a PO box. I already get enough messages demanding that I build specific kits. Not asking, demanding. Of course, some people do have manners, and I'm always keen to hear their suggestions, but I can imagine the whole thing easily becoming more annoying than it's worth. At least at this stage anyway. You never know what the future might hold. Maybe one day I'll be able to justify spending a whole lot more time building and painting models every day, and my stash might start running low. I do have enough kits in my stash to keep me going for quite some time yet, and to be honest, I like building the kits that I want to build, rather than feeling like I have to build something specifically because somebody else wants to see it. Hopefully that makes some sense. In the comment section of last fortnight's Ask a Herbert Erpaderp, TOFM Drone said, "RIP HMS Erpaderp." That's not the HMS Erpaderp, that's one of its victims. The mighty Erpaderp cannot be sunk. Robert Clark said, "Could you do a video on painting Flames of War German SS Infantry?" It's not currently on my to-do list. I don't think I've even got any German infantry for Flames of War, SS or not. I will of course eventually get some infantry, so that I can actually field a German force with actual German figures, and eventually they would get painted. And they may well be SS, but at the moment it's not really a high priority for me. Bommy78lolly said, "Build the Dapol Evening Star 9F. Here's an example of a demand for me to build something. I mean, it's not that bad, they haven't tried to insult me and they have not spammed it, but still, I'm not a machine that just takes whatever order's given, and I don't really appreciate people feeling like they can dictate how my time is used, especially when they likely don't contribute. I'm happy to make polls for patrons and build what they want to see first, but I'm not going to say how high when some rando says jump, if that makes sense. This does happen to be a kit that I would like to build, but I haven't seen it in the hobby shop for some time, and I don't want to build it badly enough to go searching for it or buying online and paying for the shipping for one tiny kit, so I'll be waiting until I do see it in the shop. And with that, question time is over. Let's go and have a look at some of the models posted in our excellent Discord community. As usual, I've omitted a lot of really good stuff in the interest of saving some time. If you do want to see everything, or even share some of your own models, head on over to the Discord server and check it out. First up this fortnight, Sneaky Zaku has shared a pair of chieftains, unless I've identified them wrong. These are 15mm scale models for Team Yankee. These look quite nicely painted. It's an interesting camo scheme too. Very nice. The third picture is a size comparison with a Flames of War KV-1 and T-34. Excellent work on all of these little tanks. Gentleman shared these images saying, "Somewhere in Siberia, in the middle of nowhere, a wild KV-2 can be spotted in its winter fur." I rather enjoyed that description. This is a really nice looking model. I can't tell what scale it is, but what matters is that it looks quite nice trundling through the snow, though it could do with some paint on the tracks. I'm assuming this isn't quite finished. Good job anyway, keep it up. The Tourette's Gamer just finished this 28mm scale Hellcat by Warlord, which was received as a Christmas gift. I rather like Hellcats, they're awesome, and this one is no exception. I know from experience that this is a pretty good kit, and I think you've done a really good job with it. It looks like it's ready to, and has been doing all kinds of Hellcat things. Very cool. It kind of makes me want to paint my own Hellcat. Here is an excellent T-34-85 platoon shared by Lijos or Lijos or Leos/Sanders. Name slaughtering aside, these look really good. They look like they've been fighting hard through a long winter. My only problem is that there is only one picture, but awesome work. I Don't Need Help Anymore is finally happy with this M3. That's the M3 Stuart, not the Lee, obviously. This is some really nice work. There's a whole bunch of work in progress pictures of this model on the Discord server. They're definitely worth checking out, so you should come to the Discord server and start scrolling up in the modelling section. It'll be good times. Anyway, this M3 is really quite nicely done. Clearly, this is a Soviet Lend-Lease tank. I Don't Need Help Anymore has put a lot of work and attention to detail into this, and I would say that it's paid off. I'm sure you'll agree. Panzerkampfwagen 3 Ausführung J shared this Panzer IV Ausführung F2 that they've just finished. This is the Zvezda 15mm scale model, though it's had some extra detail added, like the jerry cans on the rear and some scratch-built headlamps on the front. Panzer says that they're really proud of those, and they should be. They're very nice extra details that really improve the look of the model. It's been painted really nicely too, which also obviously improves the model. No Chromosomes shared this awesome little Pink Panther which was inspired by my own Pink Panther. It makes me feel pretty good to inspire people who do excellent work like this. The model is a 15mm scale plastic panther for Flames of War, which I do remember being a pretty decent little kit. This is super cool. Cartool shared this awesome floaty shooty boy. My ship identification skills are not exactly great, but I think this might be the Bismarck. Whatever ship this happens to be, if I'm wrong, I know I'm right in saying that it looks quite good. That rigging looks like it was probably a little bit fiddly to get into place. Good work. Max Strike Eagle has shared this base for a machine in Krieger. He was going for a scorched concrete look, and I think that's been achieved quite nicely. It's relatively simple while still looking detailed. It's just a block with some cables and what looks to be an LED and a dishy looking thing, and it's a base. It looks really good, and as you can see with the SAFSR Prowler on it, it's quite effective and doesn't distract from the model. Very nicely done. That's it for the models this fortnight. Let's go over to the Arts and Crafts channel and see what's there. Haven't done that for a while. First, a picture by Eastern Union. It's a heavy-duty excavator for a group art thing. I was in a bit of a rush, so I didn't go searching for info on the group art thing, but I do rather like this. It looks like it's based on a steam locomotive or something like that. Interesting work. Wilbur has drawn a Panzer 3M loaded out and moving through town with another close behind. This is really cool. There's so much detail in this. There's even dirt pouring off the tracks as they go around the drive sprocket. Very nice. I hope you share more in the future. PKB Chaz has shared this Doctor Who related artwork. It was done with Copic markers, and as you can clearly see, it's really good. I'm almost at a loss for words, really. Very nice stuff. I would like to encourage you to keep arting, and of course feel free to share with us. Dreadnought Luna drew a thing, and it's a good thing. This B-29, while very nicely drawn, has certainly seen better days. It's missing its rudder, poor thing. Very nicely drawn. I have to admit I'm a little envious of the artistic skills I've been seeing in the Arts and Crafts channel. Every time I think, maybe I should get some art supplies and try getting good at the drawing. But I'm pretty lazy, so I don't. Either way, thank you very much for sharing your glorious art. Also, a big thank you to everyone who shared their modelling pictures and asked questions. Obviously, this is the end of the Ask a Herbert Erpaderp for this fortnight. It shall return in 2 weeks, unless something unavoidable happens, like being eaten by a dinosaur or something. I don't know. If you've got questions, go ahead and ask them in the comments below or on Discord if you prefer that. If you haven't already, it would be very nice if you would do the subscribing and bell ringing things that are done here on YouTube. If you really like the things I do and want to help and have a say in what models I build, consider supporting over on Patreon. Links in the description. And of course, I shall return soon. So until then, be excellent to each other and thanks for watching. Farewell.